Welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. It's January 15th, 2024, and it is Martin Luther King's Day. And history tells me that this man, this legend, was resilient, he was tenacious, he had muscle, and I have a dream. This legend was a stalwart, a strong, vibrant soul. And this is how we are going to remember him today: tenacious, resilient, and strong. In life, we will go through challenges, we will go through hardship, we will go through things that are not of our own making. But as Martin Luther King, as we are remembering him today on this day, as they commemorate it as Martin Luther King's Day, we will remember that if we are resilient, if we are strong, and if we are tenacious, we can become what God has created us to be. In this episode of our podcast, MC Legacy Mindset Monday, we are going to continue with part two of gratitude through though grieving. Gratitude though grieving. And my sister Veronica and I are here to share with you how to be grateful even though you are grieving. Today, Monday, January 15th, is also commemorated as Blue Monday. And psychiatrists or psychologists call this the most somber or the most depressing day of the year. I'm not sure why, but it is classified as Blue Monday, a depressing day. But we are on this side, though we are grieving, my sister and I, and a lot of other persons who are watching, though you may be grieving, we have a whole lot to give thanks for. Because as I mentioned earlier about Martin Luther King, he was tenacious, he was strong, he was resilient. He fought for our freedom as African Americans, and he fought for rights, our rights. So, whatever is happening, whether it's health issues, whatever it is, being tenacious, being resilient will get you on the other side of things. So, instead of with strength, fight with vigor, fight with the energy that we have inside of us to overcome whatever challenges we will go through, because challenges will come. Whether it's challenges that is of our own mistakes or challenges that are placed upon us based on what we are in, based on our jobs, based on the people we encounter. Because, mark you, we have no control over other person's behavior, but we have control over our response to what they may do or say. So today, as we continue on this topic, we are sharing with you how, as we go through our grieving process, grieving the loss of my husband, and my sister grieving the loss of her husband, and her children grieving the loss of their father. Grief is a part of life. And as we explained last week, this aspect of life is inevitable. Whether we're happy yesterday or we're sad today, grieving is a part of life. And grieving does not necessarily mean that the person dies, because people who have gone through a divorce, that's also an aspect of grieving, because the person is still alive, but you are no longer together. That's a part of grieving, leaving a relationship that you love, leaving a relationship that was abusive. And one of my friends, and she shared with me that although her relationship was abusive, there were times when she and her former husband had good times. So, although she had to leave because of the abuse, it took a part of her because they spent years together. It's like ripping something away from her. So, grieving with a loved one passing on, or grieving when a relationship turns sour, there are certain emotions that's attached to grieving. And earlier on, before I came on the show, I I was hesitant in doing today's episode because in grieving, we are not aware what are going to change. We're not aware as to when the triggers are going to happen. A simple thing as just looking at my husband's name. I was in the process of paying a bill, and it took me 5 hours to pay one bill. And my friends were around me, and I keep saying, I need to pay this bill. I need to pay this bill. But what was happening? I did not want to open, I did not want to go online to see the account because it just bring back memories. Antonia and I normally sit and pay that bill. And every time I sign on to the computer, there was a block. I started getting teary eyed, and I get up, I move away, and I keep saying, I gotta pay this bill. And my friend Marie keeps saying, Miriam, remember, Camille, remember, you said you're gonna pay the bill. And I said, oh, yes. And then I went back to sit down. Then I got up again because to open the computer and to do it all by myself. A simple bill, but it brings back so much memory. So we don't know when the emotions will change from laughter to tears to why did you have to go? But when the emotions change, just roll with it. Just know that God has created us with all of these changes of emotions that we can get through the challenges, we can get through this bump. And remember, grieving is not a 1 month or a 1 year. Sometimes this lasts for a lifetime. However, during the grieving process, there are stages and phases. So when it just happened, we're in shock, disbelief. Afterwards, we come to grips with what is happening. And then we are in the stage of acceptance. Now, acceptance phase can be very, 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 very long. However, when we reach that phase of acceptance, it is then we can move through do things as we set out to do, put things in place, and realize that yes, the reality has set in. Yes, I accept that Antonio is no longer here, T is no longer here. So, what's next? What do I have to do? Bear in mind that although you're in the acceptance phase, you are still gonna go through those changes of emotion. It's like a pendulum. You are happy this moment and you're sad this moment. You're laughing this moment and then, oh, the ugly tears come. Someone looking on may wonder what's wrong with this girl, but it's only when you're in that phase, only when you're standing in that area, that you will be able to understand what's happening. Or someone like me sharing with you the changes of emotion. I'm not sure if the male figure go through the same sort. I know they go through different emotions. Hopefully I'll get a male perspective the next episode. But for us, we are more feeling, and it affects us in different ways. So while grieving, if you feel like crying, of course, sometimes, even if you don't feel like crying, but the tears will just start flowing and you wonder, where did it come from? Because you start feeling it, your subconscious is giving way to how you are feeling. So just center yourself and just embrace those emotions. Those emotions will help to heal the pain you're feeling inside. Those emotions will help to, you know, embrace the love that you have for your loved one that passed. Those emotions will allow you to see through life phases. And I will always go back to Ecclesiastes 3, right? Verse 1 to 3. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to mourn and a time to dance. One thing I'm going to learn to do this year. Now, Antonio was trying to teach me to dance. I made a little progress, but my I was able to balance my feet. Now I have a left and a right. First time when he was teaching me, I had two left feet, but now I have a left and a right. So I know where to go. So I'm gonna learn to dance. So even when the tears flowing and I'm dancing, a little laughter will come on the face, right? So whatever it takes for you to center yourself, for you to balance all of these emotions, do it. Let me tell you one thing that is helpful, and I'll repeat this over and over because it is so important that I have to repeat it. Community is very important. Since my husband passed, I have a host of friends and family who make sure that Miriam eats, who make sure that Miriam have company. I'm not afraid, I'm just lonely. And it's natural when you have someone around you all your life. When you have picture 21 years, divide that into months, and then divide that into days, and then divide that into hours. It's a whole lot of time. So, being by yourself, sometimes it is scary, but I have a community that helps to balance this whole scale, that helps to balance the spectrum. That helps to help me to navigate. They don't crowd my space. They do what they have to do, and yet they are there to see when Miriam is falling apart. Because yes, everyone say that I'm strong. I'm strong in spurts, but they are there when Miriam is falling apart. They are there to grab me. They are there to say, "Oh, Miriam, you left this here." Some of them call me Camille. Camille, um, you were doing this just now, and you left it in mid air. I said, "Oh, sometimes I walk around the house with my hand on my head, just trying to figure out what I was doing earlier." So, all of this comes in the mix of when you are challenged with something that happened, something new, something that has changed drastically, and you're trying to wrap your mind around all of what just happened. So, like I will tell myself, I will tell you, take time with you. Just take a little time with yourself. We, I personally, is the hardest judge of myself. So, Miriam, take time with you. And if you want to personalize it for yourself, just put your hand on your heart or put your hand on your shoulder or hug yourself and say, Jackie, take time with you. As you grieve, take time with you. Don't ever underestimate how you can take time with you. There are many persons who are looking for outside help. That is also important, but we need to know that we can take time with ourselves. Pay attention to the different emotions. Pay attention to how you manage yourself and just laugh when you make the silly mistakes. Just laugh. Of course, you're going to be crying sometimes and say, "Oh my goodness." Some simple little things that will make you just boohoo. But as you mourn, it's time to understand that yes, this is a part of life. Today, I was walking up the stairs and I said to myself, it's really real. I said this every day. I said it yesterday. And I said it today because of things that I now have to do all by myself. It's real. The good thing about it, I understood what to do, how to do, but there are things that Antonia would do, and there are things that I would do. Although I know how to do all of them, but we had shared roles. Now I have to take on those roles and also do my role. For those of you who are listening, who are watching, and you have your spouse, or for those who have family members, it's important that you know what each other does. Because although I'm going through this phase, this mourning phase, if I did not know what to do, it would have made the transition much harder. On a daily basis, things would have been harder because I would have to be searching for things, wondering where things are, uh, trying to figure out things. But when we know where things are, it makes life much easier. Another thing, when we're getting instructions, pay attention because I thought Antonio would have been around. And just even the television Miriam, you can use this remote for to do everything. You don't have to use two, three remotes. Just press this and talk. And yes, I heard, but I wasn't paying attention because Antonio knows how to do it. He is the technology guru in the house. He is my IT specialist. He is everything to do with IT. So because he does that, Miriam doesn't pay attention. So now I have to reminisce. I started looking at the remote. Thank God I have young specialist in the house who can show me exactly what he was saying. So pay attention because it will alleviate some of the challenges you go through when your loved ones are no longer here. Whether it's a parent to a child, whether it's a child to a parent, whether it's husband to a wife, wife to husband, whether it's sibling to sibling, pay attention. Attention. Pay attention. Pay attention because it will alleviate a lot of the challenges that we go through. I am just checking to see if there are any comments or any questions. Now, paying attention, listening and paying attention is two different things. Now I realize I was not paying attention because if I had paid attention, I would have known how to turn on the TV. The good thing about it, that's one thing that someone else could show me, and I finally got it. But things like the password for the computer, he gave me the password for his computer because I normally go on to pay some bills that he takes care of. But not realizing that he would not have been here. I did not save that password. I think I know it, but it's I did not actually go back and think about it. But I'm just sharing with you little things that can cause big issues when you need something right away and you can't get it because you either don't know the password or you either don't know, you either don't. Several things can happen. And then you will put your hand on your head like me and bawl, bawl. But in the bawling or in the crying, as the Queen's English would say, or American English, while you're crying, Jamaicans will say, when you're bawl, while you're crying, just remember that you have community who is there to support you, to just, you can rest your arm on their shoulder, or you can have a shoulder to cry on. I am happy that I have that. I have so many shoulders. I can just move from one to the other until I am centered again. But I do have them. I do have them. And it is also important that while you are going through, you have people who, though they are around you, they are not crowding you. They still give you your space, your time to be personal, your time for yourself. And I cherish those moments. I am so grateful that I have this wonderful family, this host of friends and family who are always there for me. Can I tell you, this morning I had a nice cup, if you might say, or a nice warm cup of oatmeal porridge with yam and um, and banana. The thing was so delicious. And guess what? My beautiful Queen Marie Wallow did that for me. This afternoon for dinner, I had fried dumplings. Oh my goodness, those things are so delicious. Ackee and saltfish and fried plantain. I would love to give you some, but I have a little more left. If you're nearby, I could offer you some, but that thing is so delicious. They made sure that I have something to eat and I don't have to worry about cooking. I am blessed beyond measure. I am grateful. So, in our mindset, let's think about the things we have, the things that are working, the people that we have around us. I'm grateful for Marie Walla. I'm grateful for Sadie Mighty. They're actually here now. I'm grateful for Princess Jamelia. At this present moment, I have them right here with me, just loving on me. Earlier, I was walking around the house crying, and they just allow me to be me. And then when they realized that I needed assistance, they say, okay, here this is, or here that is. When people are around you and they can understand you, it makes a world of difference. So as we go through grieving, or when it's your time to grieve, I hope you'll be able to take something from what is said that can help you in the process. Grieving is a natural emotion that we were created with because the wisdom literature, the good book, the Bible, it's written, it's to everything there is a season. That means we laugh, we cry, we are excited, and then we get somber. There is a season. So whatever season of life you're in, whether grieving the loss of a child, grieving the loss of a parent, grieving the loss of a spouse, know that you, we will get through this together. We are in this thing together and we will get through together. Getting through, some people will get through the different phases faster than others, but we will get through together. You may be in a different phase than I am in right now, but we will get through together. We will. And then you will be able to help someone. You will be able to share your experience. You will be able to be patient with others while they are going through their journey, while they are taking the steps to become whole again. Just remember, this is one aspect of life that is inevitable. One of these days, someone will be mourning because I passed on. But until then, I will echo and let you know that community is important, but self awareness is also important, knowing that grieving is a part of life. Grieving is one of the aspects of life that we will all go through or we have gone through, but some are on and some are in a different phase while others are in the first phase, the third phase, whatever the phase you are, it is a part of life. So cherish the moments, cherish the lovely moments that you have with your significant other. Cherish the moments you have with parents, with friends. Cherish those moments. Live in the moment. Be present. Be present. If you take away anything, or if you take away one thing, take away this: I am present with myself. I am present with my spouse. I am present with my children. I am present with my friends. Be present when you are connecting with each other. Be present when you are working things out with yourself. Be present, and it will alleviate a lot of stress because you are present. Be present. And as we are present, the mindset of being present is just dealing with the whatever you're dealing with at the moment, right now, this minute. Be present. This is Mindset Monday. Gratitude, though grieving. Be grateful for the things you have. I am grateful for the things I have. And not being worried about the things I don't have. Find what you're grateful for. We started building our gratitude journal. Let me know where you are in the process. Every single day, at least one thing to be grateful for. By the end of the year or by the end of this month, you should have 31 things to be grateful for. 31. So, as we go through our journey of gratitude, though grieving, let's add to our journal, what am I grateful for? Let's add to our journal, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful. You could even put names. I'm grateful for Sister Sadie. I'm grateful for this one. I'm grateful for the many calls. I have to return some calls when I'm done because I received some calls and they went to voicemail because I was in my moment. I could not pick up the phone at the time because I would be crying and no one could hear what I'm saying. So, to alleviate everyone not getting nervous, I said I will respond to those calls when I'm finished. So thank you for your love. I really appreciate all that you have done, you are still doing. And this is so helpful, not only to myself, but others who are reading your comments about grieving. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to the chat and I'll be happy to respond. But the mindset of gratitude helps us through every aspect of our life and also through grieving. This is Miriam Edwards. Veronica was having challenges with her internet app, so she was not able to be on this evening. But as she will tell you, she is also grateful for family and friends who are supportive of the processes we're going through and sharing with us and loving on us as we grieve, as we gratefully grieve through this time. This is Miriam Edwards for another episode of Mindset Monday. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe and give me your questions. I'll be happy to answer. Have a wonderful day as you complete celebrating Martin Luther King Day. And though it's the most depressing day, as psychiatrists would say, but rest assured that with community, you don't need to remain in any depressive state, but knowing that you have friends and family and a community to love on you. Until next week, have a wonderful week celebrating your gratefulness, having gratitude for the things you have and sharing with the persons in your space. See you then.